Hey guys, it's Luke, and in this video, we're going to be taking a look at an AI app meant to help English learners improve their English through conversation. Now, it's an AI app, so that means each conversation is different. I'm very curious to see how effective it is at having conversations and also, very importantly, giving feedback. So, before we get into it, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already done that. And now let's get into it. This is Praktika, and the unique thing about it is that when you practice, you're practicing with an AI bot rather than just preset answers. The old way of doing bots is over, right? So let's test it out. I've got my phone here and on the screen. So we're going to go to, let's go to, why don't we just do the warm-up, okay? So the warm-up I have at the bottom here, practice results profile. And the warm-up, we are what we eat under B1.
Hello, Cloud. How are you?
Okay, so there's a guy who's just talking to me. He's a character here, and I can speak. I'm doing pretty well, although earlier I drank too much tea too fast, and it actually caused me to choke and lose my voice, which was unpleasant. Okay, it's got everything.
Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you're feeling better now. Are you ready to start our English warm-up lesson? Today's topic is, we are what we eat. Do you agree, argue, or partially agree with this statement?
Okay, argue, I'm not sure. Oh, I think argue there would be do agree, disagree, or partially agree with this statement. And look, it's making a comment, or he's making a comment on what I said, right? So it feels more conversational than a standard bot, right? Because he's actually responding to what I said about choking on the tea. I partially agree with this. I think we are what we eat in the sense that the food we eat turns into energy that we can use. But I also don't think that we are simply the sum of our parts. I think we're much more than that. Okay, that looks pretty accurate.
That's a great point, Cloud. Our diet definitely plays a big role in our overall health and well-being, but there are many other factors that contribute to who we are as individuals.
So responding
Can
to
you
my
give me
point
an
there.
example of how the food we eat affects our energy levels?
Okay, sure. I say that food we eat have some good effect of the energy level of us if we eating high proteins foods, then we are having more energies over the long term. But if we are eating more of the carbonation, we are having more of the short-term energy. I decided to try some incorrect English, lots of incorrect English, and make my answer much longer.
I understand what you're trying to say, Cloud. You're right that the food we eat can have an impact on our energy levels. Eating high-protein foods can provide us with sustained energy over a longer period of time, while consuming sugary or carbonated drinks may give us a quick burst of energy, but it won't last very long.
So
It's important to have a balanced diet that includes all the necessary nutrients for our body to function properly and maintain good health.
very true, very true. So true. All right, so that's actually a good response. It's kind of responding to what I was saying. and helping me summarize. But now what I would want to have is a follow-up question, right? So I need to be prompted in order to answer. So now what am I supposed to do? So I would say at this point, we've got to have a follow-up question to continue, because I happen to know that English learners very much struggle with what should I say next, right? So here is maybe a point to improve. Yes.
Great. Can you give me an example of a balanced meal that includes all the necessary nutrients?
Oh, we've got a loading here. Still loading? I heard what he said, but okay, here we go. And we can also translate this. I put my native language as Spanish, so I can translate that. Excelente. Okay. I would say that a balanced meal may including vegetable, cotton candy, Pepsi, pizza, chocolate muffins, and bagels. I'm just trying to get a sense for the breadth, the scope of the conversation. I want to know how constrained the conversation is.
I see what you're trying to say, but I think there might be some confusion.
Okay, we're getting some
feedback. While all of those
here.
Foods can be enjoyable in moderation, they don't necessarily make up a balanced meal that includes all the necessary nutrients.
Oh, so it's actually not just giving me English feedback.
A balanced meal should include a variety of food groups
but
such as
dietary
lean protein,
feedback,
e.g. chicken, fish, complex carbohydrates,
okay, but
e.g.
what
brown
about
rice,
chocolate muffins?
quinoa, healthy fats, e.g. avocado, nuts, and plenty of fruits and vegetables for vitamins and minerals. For example, grilled chicken breast with roasted sweet potatoes and broccoli on the side would make a well-balanced meal that provides protein, complex carbs, and fiber-rich veggies for essential nutrients. Does this make sense?
So what I think is interesting here is that it is responding to what I'm saying. In other words, the content of what I'm saying, it clearly understands, and it is responding in a specific way. Now, is that response necessarily realistic? To me, it doesn't feel super conversational. I think it could be honed a bit more to be more intuitive in how a real conversation would feel. And also, here we have dietary feedback, which again is fine, but where the value is for this, because it knows what I'm saying, it understands what I'm saying, I think the key value is, all right, but I did make some mistakes there. I made some deliberate English mistakes, and maybe we'll get those later as the session continues, but I would like to see some, maybe as we go. By the way, don't forget that when you say I, you have to agree with that, right? The verb that follows that, or whatever it is, the feedback you want to share, right? But okay, all right. Let's keep going here. That makes sense to me, sir.
Great. Do you have any questions, or would you like me to explain anything further?
Do you think that you could give me some feedback and corrections on my English?
Of course, I'd be happy to help. Here are a few corrections. When you said, I say that food we are eat, it would be more natural to say, I think that the food we eat has an impact on us. Instead of saying, have some good effect of the energy level, you could say, has a positive effect on our energy levels. When you said, if we eating high protein foods then we are having more energies over the long term, it would sound better if you said, eating high protein foods can provide us with sustained energy over a longer period of time. Overall, your English is good and understandable. Keep practicing and don't hesitate to ask me any questions or for further clarification if needed.
Okay, so that's interesting because that feedback is accurate. That's good feedback. I did say if we eating, and I also said good in fact. I deliberately said that. I deliberately made that mistake. So what I would like to see there is, it would be cool if that popped up while we're having the conversation, or maybe a thing that says, hey, do you want to get some feedback on what you just said? Maybe as an option. Again, I don't know what's going to happen after the lesson, right? So, but that's good feedback. I mean, that's solid feedback that based on what I said, that is definitely useful. Thank you.
You're
All right,
welcome. Is there anything else you'd like to discuss or practice in English?
Is this going to complete the lesson if I say no? Nope, nothing.
All right then, it was great talking with you today. Keep up the good work and don't hesitate to reach out if you need any further assistance.
I like that it ends, if this ends automatically.
Have a great day.
Thank you, have a great day. So if this actually closes the session.
Too.
Hey, there. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Instead of having this thing where you have to end the lesson or just suddenly ends, it ends conversationally. That is actually quite cool. So I think that this has a lot of, I think this is cool, and it's good if you're asking for feedback as a tool. I think it's a very useful tool, right? I would like to see a bit more naturalness in the conversation itself, in the flow of the conversation, and I would like to see a bit more sort of baked in feedback throughout, but it's pretty cool and feels much more realistic than, just recording some practice, and not quite at the level of a phone call or a call with a teacher, but the quality of the feedback is probably pretty close to what you would get from a teacher. So if I click finish lesson, let's see. I'm going to continue without the report. I think pay to get the report. Okay, and maybe if I pay, then I get some analytics or some analysis of my speaking. But anyway, pretty interesting. Check out Praktika. Let me know what you think, if you find it to be useful, or if you find any other interesting tools that you want me to check out, to review, to look at. I'm always on the lookout for interesting tools that are especially using AI. I think it's a really cool time to be kind of testing the limits of things like GPT-3, GPT-4, ChatGPT, and I think this is a pretty interesting effort. So let me know if you have any questions. If you haven't already done so, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe, and also check out my free courses in the links in the description.